Assault here, and it's time once again for my monthly pickups video, this time for August 2022. And I've got stuff this month from Half Price Books, Buy Sell Trade, Hamilton Book, eBay, Best Buy, and Amazon. So I'll go ahead and show you what I picked up in August. And I'll start with Half Price Books. I've got some DVDs, but mostly Blu-rays, and I don't think I have any 4K this month. I do have one. But anyway, I'll start with Half Price Books. And this was a cool find. I wasn't expecting to find this, but I found Dinosaurus from 1960. This was one of my favorite movies when I was a kid. Watching it as an adult, it's much less enjoyable, but still cool. It's one of those terrible special effects, but super hokey concept. But just I love it anyway. Just have a soft spot in my heart for Dinosaurus. And this was made by, it's produced by Jack H. Harris and directed by Irvin S. Yeworth Jr. Stars Ward Ramsey, Christina Hansen, and Paul Lukather. And basically it's just an excuse for some poorly animated dinosaurs to wreak havoc on an island in the Caribbean. It's hilarious. It's pretty funny, and I just enjoy it. But I thought it was really cool that it's in fantastic shape, but it's in this clamshell case, which is really, really cool. And there's the whole thing. So anyway, this was one of my favorite pickups this month. Dinosaurus from 1960 on DVD. I don't know if that's on Blu-ray or not. Also picked up Invincible with Mark Wahlberg, and I was planning to do a review of a bunch of football movies for the month of September. I've decided against doing that, but this was picked up because of that. But I'm still interested in this. I like football, and I like football movies, so I have not seen this one, so it's a blind buy. This is from Walt Disney, rated PG. Also stars, let's see, Greg Kinnear, Elizabeth Banks, and it's about all I know as far as the cast goes. But this is about an ordinary guy who, against extraordinary odds, gets a 1 in a gazillion shot at living every sports fan's wildest fantasy, joining an NFL team. A 30-year-old bartender is about to become the NFL's most unlikely rookie. So looking forward to watching that, based on a true story. This was kind of an interesting find. This is brand new, still sealed from Half Price Books, Terminator Dark Fate. I was not a huge fan of this when I saw it in the theater, but I figured I would pick it up just because I'm a completist, and like you'll see, I also picked up the last entry in the Jurassic World series for the same reason. This was pretty, I don't want to say depressing, but disappointing. It's good. It's always good to see Arnie back as a Terminator, and having the original Sarah Connor, Linda Hamilton come back was cool, but it was all kind of wasted on kind of a crappy plot. But I picked it up, I think it was $8, brand new, still sealed, so I figured, what the hell. Picked this one up more for my wife than for me. This was in the clearance aisle, so this was $3. It's the live-action Beauty and the Beast from Walt Disney. And this stars Emma Watson and who else is in this? Dan Stevens, Luke Evans, Kevin Kline, Josh Gad, Ewan McGregor, Stanley Tucci, and Ian McKellen, and Emma Thompson. So fantastic cast. Directed by Bill Condon. So can't be that bad. And this is one that I enjoyed this month, Fantastic Voyage. I remember watching this when I was a kid. This is a 20th Century Fox Studio Classics release. This was directed by Richard Fleischer and stars Stephen Boyd, Raquel Welch, Edmund O'Brien, Donald Pleasance, Arthur O'Connell, and William Redfield, and Arthur Kennedy. But basically, there is a man, this is during the Cold War, there's a man who's a foreigner, and he's got some state secrets in his head, and he is nearly assassinated. So to fix his wounds, they inject a miniaturized submarine with the crew to fix his wounds from the inside with this laser that they've built. And the special effects are pretty dated for today, but back then, this was made in 1966. They were pretty stunning. And I guess, according to what I read on IMDb, this was apparently shown in medical schools just for the depiction of the inside of the body up through the 80s. So, there's no CGI in this, obviously, but it's a really fun movie. Donald Pleasance is excellent in it. Stephen Boyd, I don't know him from anything else, at least not off the top of my head, but he's really good. Raquel Welch is unfortunately forced to be sort of very smart woman, still used for eye candy, but excellent movie. I highly recommend seeing this, and I'll have a review for this in about 2 weeks on movieassault.com. Okay, next up is not half price books. I'm sorry. That was my half price books. This is from Buy Sell Trade. So I picked up the Naked Gun trilogy. I already have the original Naked Gun on Blu-ray, but this is all 3 of the movies, so I'll probably be trading the original back in. But this actually comes with all 3 movies on separate discs, and there's the second one. But I love these movies. Leslie Nielsen is just hilarious. You can see the information for all 3 movies there. This was put out by Paramount. Naked Gun from the Files of Police Squad, Naked Gun 2.5, The Spell of Fear, and The Naked Gun 33 1/3, The Final Insult, with which, of course, all of them starred Leslie Nielsen, Priscilla Presley, George Kennedy, and O.J. Simpson. I don't remember if O.J. Simpson is in the first one, but I believe he is. Fred Ward is in the 3rd one, and Robert Goulet is in the 2nd one. So I haven't seen the 2nd and the 3rd one in quite a while, but the first one I watch all the time. I love these movies. This was a blind buy. I did a little bit of Googling before I purchased this, so I could kind of get an idea of what I was getting myself into. But this is Nightmare City by Umberto Lenzi, an Italian zombie movie, which, from what I understand, is zany and really nonsensical, but still pretty fun. It stars my favorite actor's name in all of history, Hugo Stiglitz. Also stars Laura Trotter, Francisco Rabal, and Edward Fajardo. But this is Nightmare City, and there's the back. And I thought this was interesting. It comes with this slipcover. It's put out by a label called Raro Video, but it has a slipcover, and then it's got slightly different artwork underneath. But I looked on bluray.com just to see if the transfer was any good. I didn't want to get this if it was really crappy. But it actually got a fairly decent review, the print quality and whatnot, so figured I'd take a chance on this. Also picked this up. This is from Scream Factory. This is Saturn III, starring Farrah Fawcett and Harvey Keitel and Kirk Douglas. And this is an interesting movie. I remember reading Starlog magazine back in the early 80s, I believe 1980s when this came out. And yeah, 1980 when this came out, and I thought the robot design on this was really awesome. The robot named Hector, who's on the front cover here, I thought he was really cool looking, and I was expecting this to be a really fantastic movie. It's a little disappointing, but I don't know. I wanted to add it to my collection anyway. Just because it's a little bizarre. It's an interesting horror sci-fi combo, kind of psychological. Harvey Keitel is interesting in this. I believe all of his dialogue was overdubbed by somebody else for some reason. But it's been a couple of years since I've seen this, so there you go. Also picked this up. Believe it or not, I did not have this in my collection. This is John Carpenter's Big Trouble in Little China. This is on Warner Brothers, I believe. No, 20th Century Fox, my bad. And comes with a slipcover, which makes it look like it's a VHS cover. I've got a couple of those retro type covers, and I think they are pretty cool. This one is hilarious. It says right there, does not contain a VHS cassette tape. No kidding. But yeah, okay. But I have not seen this in a really, really long time. So long ago that I will probably be considering it a first-time watch when I do and get around to watching this. So I'm really looking forward to that. Pick this one up. This is one of my never-ending quests to own all of Nicolas Cage's films. This is Prisoners of the Ghostland. I have not heard too much good or bad about this, but it was $6. It says the wildest movie I've ever made, and for him to say that, that's probably not necessarily a compliment. But yeah, this is sort of a science fiction sci-fi movie, or science fiction sci-fi, science fiction samurai movie. But here you go, Prisoners of the Ghostland. And then another addition to my collection that had to be a mission from my collection that had to be rectified, Strange Brew, starring the Mackenzie brothers, of course, Rick Moranis and Dave Thomas from SCTV. Also stars Paul Dooley and Max von Sydow. And this was directed by Dave Thomas and Rick Moranis. So Strange Brew from the SCTV peoples. Funny movie. All right, next up is Hamilton Book. And this one, I keep getting recommended this movie all the time. So I figured I would pick it up. This is the Canadian version, it looks like, because it's got the French subtitle at the bottom there. But this, The Frozen Ground, starring Nicolas Cage and John Cusack. And I don't know too much about this other than it is based on a true story and also has Vanessa Hudgens in it. But I've heard nothing but good things about this, and I've lost count of how many people have said they watched it on Netflix and loved it. This is going to be an official selection for the Halloween 15 this year. I have never seen this. This is Peter Jackson's The Frighteners with Michael J. Fox. Also stars Trini Alvarado, I believe, who, when I was younger, had a massive crush on. Don't ask me why, but I did, because I can't, not that there's anything wrong with her, it's just I can't remember why I had a giant crush on her, because I don't remember what I saw her in as a kid that made me really have that crush on her. And I don't even remember how old I was. I was probably like 12 or 13. But this includes the Peter Jackson's director's cut and the theatrical version, also starring D. Wallace Stone and Jeffrey Combs and Jake Busey. And looks like the music was by Danny Elfman. I did not know that. That's pretty cool. So anyway, The Frighteners from 1996. I believe that's when it's from. In my old age, I cannot read the copyright date on here, if in fact it is listed. But anyway, it says it's the 15th anniversary edition, so I'll take a shot and say that's 1996. This one is a total blind buy. I don't know anything about this one. I did some looking up. I did some searching around on the internet about this after I picked it up. But this is Hyena Road. It is a Canadian war movie, and takes place in Afghanistan. And it says it's inspired by true events. It says Hyena Road is modern-day war epic set in the heart of Taliban territory in Afghanistan, when expert sniper Ryan Sanders and his crack shot team are forced to take shelter in a nearby village. They come face to face with the Ghost, a legendary Afghan freedom fighter who's been forced into seclusion by the Taliban. There's the back of it. So this was $5, $4.95. So I figured I'd take a shot on it. And I watched the trailer, and it really looks good. So kind of excited to see that. And the last Blu-ray from Hamilton book is from Shout Factory. This is The Moderns. And this is a movie that I actually watched for the first time in college. It takes place in the mid-1920s in Paris. And it was the class I was taking when we watched this was about the Lost Generation, and we were reading about Hemingway and F. Scott Fitzgerald and Gertrude Stein. And I think those, if not all of them, some of them are characters in this. But I was just interested to see this again. Apparently this has gone out of print, but it is still available right now on Hamilton Book for $12. So really this is just more of a curio thing for me to buy, but I'm interested in watching it again. But it is The Moderns. And then I did pick up one DVD from Hamilton Book. This is Rutger Hauer's Flesh and Blood. Kind of been on, kind of been trying to track down some of Rutger Hauer's films, and I heard about this one because this one was directed by Paul Verhoeven, who I know did RoboCop, which is one of my favorite movies of all time, and Starship Troopers, and of course Basic Instinct. But I'd never even heard of this one, so I wanted to check this one out. So I'll let you know how good this one is when I get around to watching it. But it also stars, aside from Rutger Hauer, Jennifer Jason Leigh, Tom Burlinson, Susan Tyrrell, Ronald Lacey, whose face melts in Raiders of the Lost Ark, and Jack Thompson. So, all right, a couple of Amazon pickups. This is the only 4K Ultra HD for this month, and this is the other disappointing concluding episode in a franchise. This is Jurassic World Dominion. I saw this in the theater, but because I'm a completist, I wanted to go ahead and pick this up for my collection. Really, the reason I was disappointed with this is because it's just all the wonder of the dinosaurs has been sucked out of this series, and now it's just about crazy chases and CGI, as much CGI you can throw on the screen at the same time, and the characters don't matter anymore. Even though it's really cool that they bring back the original protagonists from Jurassic Park and the Jurassic World series, and they move in together. They meet each other, and then they also introduce this character whose name I can't remember, who is just more of a plot device than anything. I don't know. Very disappointed with this, but got it to round out the collection. And then, like I said, I was looking to get some Rutger Hauer movies. I don't think anybody's Rutger Hauer collection is complete without Lady Hawk, one of his finest films, with Michelle Pfeiffer and Matthew Broderick. And it's been probably 30 years since I've seen this. This came out in '85. The DVD or the Blu-ray is from 2015. This is a Warner Archive Collection edition. Kind of an underrated film, at least as far as I know. I don't know a lot of people who've seen this, but it was directed by Richard Donner, who I am fond of his Superman movies. So yeah, Lady Hawk. Looking forward to watching that. Got two from Best Buy. This is another one that I bought mainly because my wife really loves this movie, and it was on sale at Best Buy. I don't dislike this movie, but this is not one of those movies you'd catch me watching on my own, unless I was heavily sedated. But I picked up Grease. This is the Rock and Rydell edition. But of course, Olivia Newton-John just recently passed away, and we ended up watching. I don't remember what channel it was on. was on one of the, it was either one of the streaming services or it was on TV, but Grease came on, and my wife and I watched it for the gajillionth time. I saw this in the theater when it was originally released in 1978. But my wife knows every line and every lyric to this song, so I figured I'd add it to the collection just to have it. And then I picked up this newer edition of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre in a steelbook. This was on sale for $10, and it has some features that I guess it has a different print transfer than the other version of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre that I have, that I think was put out by Dark Sky Films, I believe. Don't quote me on that. But this has less special features, but it has a better print quality. So I'm going to keep the other one because of the other special features that it has. But I wanted to get a better print quality of this one. At least that's what I've been told. So we'll see if that's true. But I love that movie. All right, last three are from eBay. First one is a action double feature starring Jean-Claude Van Damme, and that is Bloodsport and Time Cop. And this was actually, I was inspired to get this because I saw a clip from Time Cop on Facebook that was one of those, like, guess what movie this is from? And I was like, wow, I haven't seen that in a long time. It just reminded me about it. So I went looking for it, and I found it on eBay, fairly cheap. Bloodsport actually played was it Bloodsport? No, Bloodsport didn't play at my theater, but Kickboxer did. But Bloodsport is a good time. I haven't seen it in a while, but I've seen it many, many times. But it stars not only Jean-Claude Van Damme, but Donald Gibb, Leah Ayres, Norman Burton, Forrest Whitaker, and Bolo Young. And I think that's why I always get it confused with Kickboxer. But anyway, Jean-Claude Van Damme double feature. And this I purchased because I couldn't believe that this was an omission in my library, American Beauty. And say what you will about Kevin Spacey and his personal character in this film, he's really good. I love the premise of this movie. I think this is an excellent movie. You know, I know all about cancel culture and all that, and everybody's supposed to stop believing that Kevin Spacey exists. But I love this movie. It's one of my favorites. Annette Bening is great in this. And, of course, it won Best Picture, so it can't be all bad, right? But, yeah, I can't believe I didn't have this on my collection. I thought I did, but I did not. So I think I may have had the DVD and not the Blu-ray. And then last but not least, on eBay, I picked this up. This is a new sealed copy of Bridesmaids with a slipcover. Paid $5 for this. Another one that my wife and I enjoy watching together, so picked this one up as well. And this is one of those movies that both of us can watch over and over again. This, Forgetting Sarah Marshall, Jaws, and We're the Millers are probably the four movies that we watch the most, and now I have all of those in my collection. So there you go. That's what I picked up for August of 2022. As always, thanks for watching this far into the video, and if you did make it this far, I really appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. So click the subscribe button, click the thumbs up, and comment below with what you picked up this month. And what do you think of any of the movies that I picked up this month? Did you see them? Did you like them? Did you not like them? All that kind of stuff. So thanks again for watching, everybody. Take it easy.